Okay. So I was told this is the last session and everybody's tired and you had a fantastic 2 days of wisdom and practice. So just close your eyes and we will sit quietly for a minute. Close your eyes and forget your exhaustion, forget where you are, and just try to be with yourself. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Gentle inhale and exhale. And as you exhale, feel your cares, your worries, all the tension, the stress of the day flow out of you. Once again, take a gentle inhale and exhale. Now join both your hands. We'll chant the Om to begin with. Inhale. Om. Bring your hands down and open your eyes. So today we are going to talk about essence of Bhakti, right? Yeah, I've written, but I don't know. Many times it happens that I start talking on a completely different topic. Anyway, what I would like to do is, yesterday, those who were there, we were chanting one mantra. Today also we chant this mantra. It's called the Guru Mantra. It's a very important mantra in the understanding of yoga. So, and I will tell you what it is and everything later. Guru Brahma,
Guru Brahma,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Devo,
Guru Devo,
Maheshwara,
Maheshwara,
Guru Sakshat,
Guru Sakshat,
Parabrahma,
Param Brahma,
Tasmai Shri,
Tasmai Shri,
Gurave Namaha.
Gurave Namaha.
Beautiful. Once again. So nice. Once again. Guru Brahma,
Guru Brahma,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Devo,
Guru Devo,
Maheshwara,
Maheshwara,
Guru Sakshat,
Guru Sakshat,
Parabrahma,
Param Brahma,
Tasmai Shri,
Tasmai Shri,
Gurave Namaha.
Gurave Namaha.
This is called the Guru Mantra. And usually in practices of yoga, we start by chanting this mantra. This mantra is a mantra of remembrance, of thankfulness, of feeling grateful. To what? To the Guru. Guru is a very, very essential element of transfer of knowledge in yoga. Yoga is not a do-it-yourself way of transformation. You cannot go to IKEA store, get a yoga kit and do it yourself. Just like you cannot go and buy a knife and something and do your own operation, same way, a process of yoga is an operation. Operation to correct you, operation to transform you, operation to heal you, a surgery. If you have some surgery, let's say surgery of a knee or surgery of back, what do? You approach a surgeon, a specialist. That specialist is the Guru. And in the wisdom tradition of yoga, the knowledge is passed down from the Guru to the rightful disciple. I am using the words very carefully. To the rightful disciple, a disciple who can hold the tradition, a disciple who is capable and empowered to hold the tradition and pass it down. And we all yoga teachers need to be thankful, need to be grateful for the fact that we are teaching and practicing something that has been passed down in the tradition for thousands of years. Isn't that amazing? Every time you sit and start to lead a class, you may chant this mantra or may not chant this mantra. It's not about the mantra, it's about the attitude with which you will teach. When you are thankful, when you are grateful about the knowledge that you have received from the tradition, you know what will happen? You will be responsible for what you teach. And we need more teachers in modern yoga who are responsible for what they stand for, who are responsible for what they teach, and who teach out of compassion and humility. We don't need teachers who cook their own story and sell under the name of yoga, which we see happens a lot in today's day. Why does it happen? Why is it okay today to take a bowl of noodles and do some posture and call it noodle yoga? Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not supporting it, but it's possible. I was talking about that yesterday. It's because the humility has been forgotten. The respect to the knowledge that was passed down for thousands of years has been forgotten. You all are responsible teachers. You know what you stand for. Don't forget that whatever you're teaching, however simple it is, even if it's a standing forward bend, even if it's teaching how the person, your student, how to breathe, it's thanks to the wisdom tradition of yoga that has been passed down for years on years, from generation to generation. Why are you practicing what you're practicing for so many years? It's my question to all of you. It's not that all of you started doing yoga yesterday, right? Some of you here are doing yoga for years, for decades, 20 years, 30 years. Why are you still on the path? Why? Because it works. You've been sold. You tried yoga. The first day somebody told you yoga will be good for you. You stepped into a yoga class or wherever, nervous, anxious, and then you started your process, then it was working, then you started loving it, then you wanted to know more, then you went to the teacher, you started studying, then you got inspired to teach, and then you started teaching, and the students started building around you, and maybe your students started teaching, and their students started teaching. You see, this tradition is going on. This is the cloud of rain, and you are all rivers. And each river is going to give water to those villages where there is no water. Water of life. And that's why every time you step on a mat or every time you start doing your own practice, remember what you stand for. You stand not for a posture. You are representing a tradition, a cultural, a wisdom tradition. And the reason why you are still practicing this is because it works. That means what? You trust the process of yoga, right? Isn't it? You have faith in the process of yoga. And that is the first essence of bhakti. Faith. Usually, bhakti is translated as devotion. But I choose not to translate bhakti as devotion. I translate bhakti as faith. Now, what is faith? Because the moment I say faith, immediately religion comes in front of us. Forget that. I am not here to touch on any religion. What is faith? What is the dictionary meaning of faith? Dictionary meaning of faith is complete trust, confidence and conviction in something or someone. Now, does your yoga fit in this? Do you have faith in yoga? Good. Of course, if you did not have faith in yoga, you would not be here. Isn't it? Now tell me, what happens when there is no faith?
Doubt.
Beautiful. The moment there is no faith, doubt starts coming up. Remember, faith is trust. And trust means no doubt. No trust is doubt. And what does doubt do to you? All of the above. But remember one thing. The doubt will divide you from you. Understand that. Remember that time when you went for an interview, you were all prepared, and then the doubt came up, and what happened? You became your own enemy. What if? How many of you face this issue of what if? That what if in the brain is how the doubt speaks. But what if? But, what if? The doubt will break you from you. The doubt will break you from your own confidence. And this is the basis of bhakti. Bhakti is a path of gradually building your faith in whatever you are involved in. So remember that. Bhakti is generating complete trust, confidence and conviction in what you do. Does this make you a bhakta? Does. Till now, do you qualify yourself as a bhakta? Bhakta means the one who does bhakti is a bhakta. Okay, sorry for... Do you have some bhakti in your heart? I was told everybody's brains are tired. But thankfully, our conversation is about the heart. Not much philosophy. Whatever you have to understand it from the heart. Bhakti is a path of generating faith. Has your confidence in yoga increased over the years? That means your bhakti is increasing. Congratulations. Now let's come to the second definition of yoga. Not yoga, bhakti. Bhakti comes from the Sanskrit root bhaja, B-H-A-J. And bhaja means to belong to or to be a part of. Sanskrit is a very, very contextual language. You need to know the context to interpret the word. You cannot blindly just say whatever. Bhakti comes from the root bhaja. Bhaja means to belong to be a part of. To be a part of what? That comes the next question. Okay, fine. Belong to. Part of what? A cult? No. Belong to. A part of. Or be a part of. Or belong to something that is much, much bigger than your limited sense of ego. Please understand. Once you understand what really bhakti is, you can take the attitude of bhakti to your own faith, to your own religion. Doesn't matter. It's not about religion. Bhakti is about love. And love has no religion. Belong to a part of what? Belong to what? Belong to something that is grand. Something bigger than your limited sense of self, that doubts, that limits you. This grand self is called universal consciousness. Have you heard that? Have you heard this word? Those who have read some spiritual books, and I am sure all of us have many. Have you heard of universal consciousness? What is this universal consciousness? In the field of yoga, this universal consciousness is called Deva. I'll come to it gradually. Universal consciousness is such an ambiguous idea, isn't it? When I say, think of universal consciousness, I'm sure half of you are visualizing space, no? With Jupiter, Saturn. Because that's our idea. Something universal. I mean, if I said cosmic consciousness, Milky Way, black hole. Isn't it? I mean, when I read first time universal consciousness, I was like, okay, consciousness in space. Then I read this word cosmic consciousness. Then suddenly I was, in a planetarium, looking up. The universal self is such a grand idea that our limited mind doesn't understand it. So what the field of yoga has done is, yoga has created something called as Deva. Deva means divinities, divine. And I like to call it divine. For me, divine is spiritual, God is religious. So I call it divine. Divine is democratic. God is not. Divine is secular. That's why I call it divine. And not me. In Sanskrit, the term is Deva, D-E-V-A. You know what Deva means? Not God. Deva means something that illuminates you. illuminates you, brings out the light in you. Deva. And it's a common in there are many languages in which the word is the same. For example, sometimes I travel to countries like Lithuania and all, and they have the same word. It's a beautiful word. Deva. Deva means what? Something that illuminates you, brings you out of your darkness. Is this much clear? I'm coming gradually to this concept. Now the universal self manifests in many different ways. They are called as attributes. Attributes means qualities. Okay? Let's come to it one by one. What means qualities? What do you associate the divine with? Universal self. Do you associate it with something?
Love.
Love, freedom,
Compassion.
compassion, unity, happiness. All these qualities in the field of yoga have been made into devas, or in simple language, gods. That's why every god, remember this, every god in the yogic pantheon represents a certain principle, a certain aspect. Because our mind is too small to understand universal consciousness. For example, have you heard of Shiva? Shiva represents detachment. Have you heard of Ganesha? Ganesha represents confidence. Have you heard of, say, Kali? Very popular nowadays. Kali, if Shiva is detachment, Kali is no nonsense, complete, ruthless detachment. Have you heard of Saraswati? Gentle, loving mother that gives you wisdom unconditionally. Have you heard of Durga? Again, no nonsense, creative feminine force. All these so-called divine icons represent a certain principle. Next time you see a photo of Ganesha or see a photo of Shiva, Krishna, anyone here? Have you heard of Krishna? You know what Krishna represents?
Love and joy.
Balance. Of course, love and joy, but balance. If you study Krishna's life, on one end he was spiritual, on the other end he was extremely practical. The point that I'm making is, all these archetypes, so to say, represent a certain principle, aspect of the divine. In Sanskrit it's called Tattva. Tattva, T-A-T-V-A. But let me warn you, that this divine is not out there. You have to be very careful. This divine is not out there. When you're praying to Ganesha, the photo of Ganesha is out there. But where is the attitude of confidence that you're praying for? When you sing the Krishna bhajan, the Krishna out there reminds you that, hey, the balance that you are looking for is within you. When you look at Shiva sitting on the mountain Kailash like this, why is not Shiva like Krishna with 10 other people? Detachment. When you pray to Shiva, when you love Shiva, detachment naturally starts occurring in your system. What does that mean? This means that the divine out there is only out there to bring you to yourself. Remember, this is the basis of Bhakti. Is this clear? God is not, in the yogic understanding, God has nothing, no role to play God will not meddle with your day-to-day affairs. Divine is a guide. When you pray to divine, when you sing the divine name, you are invoking the aspects of divine that you have within already. Now this is something very difficult for us to digest. What? I am divine? No. I am not saying this. Krishna says this. Look here. These are two very important verses from Bhagavad Gita. And you cannot contest Bhagavad Gita. It's the most important scripture of yoga. What is Krishna saying? I am the self residing in the heart of all beings. Not all humans. All beings. Dog, cat, the mosquito that bites you, the fly that irritates you. Not just that. Look, a part of me means part of the divine is essence of all living beings. This is the basis of bhakti. Please understand. And that's why yoga is not religion per se. Yoga brings you back to yourself and tells you that within you there is a powerhouse of divine consciousness. Seek that. And that's why I said yesterday, for those who were there yesterday, remember I said, what did I say? Yoga is a path that brings you to yourself and makes you realize who you truly are. Who are you truly? The divine self. So don't settle for less. Don't let your mind hijack you. Don't let circumstances blackmail you. Every time when you're at the lowest part of your psychology, take a breath and make yourself realize that I am the consciousness. Beyond this mind, beyond this body, beyond this suffering, beyond this day and night, beyond this duality, I am that. This is a very, very difficult idea to digest, isn't it? Because the world has always told us, hey, you're not good. You're not good at math. You can't dance. You have too many pimples on your face. Oh, your hair is not good. You're too short. You're too fat. You're too dark. Isn't it? We've grown up on this. Society, parents, education systems. What has happened to our confidence? Forget. So when somebody comes and tells you, you are divine, realize it, you say, no, can't be true. Impossible. No. But this is the essence of bhakti. Realizing that you are the divine that you are praying to. You are that divine. You know in bhakti how they define samadhi? It's beautiful. My Lord hugged me and I melted in his arms. So beautiful. So remember, bhakti is where all the philosophizing finishes. That's why I'm just going to talk for a few more minutes and then we're going to sing. And you don't need to be Celine Dion or Mariah Carey for this singing. Because the divine within you is not going to be invoked because you have a fantastic voice. No, the divine within you is going to be invoked because of the faith and the devotion that you sing. That's bhakti. Bhakti is simple. There's no argument in bhakti. That's why there is no bhakti philosophy. If you take up a bhakti philosophy book, you know what? It will just be a list of techniques. There's nothing to prove to anybody. That's why bhakti is like falling in love. You fall in love with somebody, okay? And then you get into a relationship and then you want to introduce him or her to your family and friends, and then one day you have this mega meeting in your house, right? I am bringing my boyfriend, and then your grandma comes and says, you could have found somebody better. He is short. He doesn't even have a job. But you are in love. Yeah, you know he doesn't have a job. Yeah, you know he's a couple of inches shorter. Yeah, you know he's not from the same, what? I don't know what you guys have, but we have back in India, we have many things that divide us. But caste or religion or country or background or race or whatever. We humans don't have, we have a lot of things that divide us. But you are in love. What happened? When you fell in love, maybe you had an idea of an ideal man. But then when this man came in front of you, that delete. Why I am saying this? Bhakti is like that. When you fall in love with the divinity, even if it's out there, all your analytical mind that troubles you, right, it just stops. This is called living in surrender. What troubles really? What troubles us? Do you realize? It's our analysis. One issue, and our mind just goes on that issue and analyzes it from 10 different places. How many of us here suffer from the habit of overthinking? They should jump into the essence of bhakti. Fall in love. When you fall in love with the divine, you're not interested in philosophy, you're not interested in techniques, because it's just a path. That's why bhakti is all about falling in love. That's why in yogic understanding we have something called as Ishtha. Have you heard of this? Ishtha? Ishtha means choosing the divinity that you want to fall in love with. So it may be Krishna, it may be Shiva, it may be Durga, it may be Kali, it may be whoever. It's like dating. It's like dating. You are single and your friends want to connect you to a nice guy or a girl. So what happens? You meet that person. Or you meet that person in a party. And you have 5-minute conversation and you say, that's interesting. And then you exchange phone number. And then you talk, and then you talk, and then you meet, and then you meet again, and then you meet again, and then you meet again, and then love. It happens with normal humans, right? It happens, right?
Sometimes.
Because I'm like, you're like, the expression I'm seeing like, which species of animal is he talking about? Come on. You may be yogis, but this falling in love and falling out of love has happened to all of us 100 times, right? Only then you will understand bhakti, because that's the last time you will fall in love. Last time. You will have loved ones, but that devotion to the divine will be unconditional. Find that. Find something that you can fall in love with. And that something should be bigger, greater than your ego. Otherwise, no use. I'll give you an example. Your ego is like salt. Salt is essential, but too much salt will kill you. So what do? You dissolve the salt in the water of heart. Now if the water of your heart is a small cup, and you dissolve the salt and you drink it, what will happen? The salt is still working, isn't it? But if that cup of your heart becomes an ocean, saltless ocean, become a big pond, And then you drop the salt of your ego and you taste the water. You don't find a trace of salt. What am I coming to? Bhakti is expansion of heart, not expansion of mind. All the philosophy of yoga will melt in bhakti. Have you heard of Chaitanya? There was a saint. You know, the Hare Krishna people is their root guru. He was a philosopher. And one day, he was going to go on the Ganga to submit his thesis of philosophy, of Indian logic. And then, on the banks of the river, he saw this man dancing in joy, like without any care. And Chaitanya goes, I want that. Not this. Not this philosophy. I want that. I want to dance carefree, without any shame, like this man on the street. His heart is full. He's crying tears of joy. I want that. I don't want his words. He just throws away his thesis, goes, talks to that man, and goes away with him. Teach me this. I don't want words. I want the silence that opens my heart. That is what. That's why the recommendation is find that love. We have love, all kinds of love in our heart around us, but find the love that can rescue you from your ego. The point here is that love should be greater than your ego. That is Bhakti. Bhakti is about love. And that's why, look, this is the definition of Bhakti in a very important scripture called Bhakti Sutra. What does it say? Bhakti is intense love for the divine. When one finds that love, the seeker becomes perfect, immortal, and content forever. How many of you would love to be content, satisfied? No? Okay. Gaining which the seeker desires nothing more, does not become jealous of anything. Very important. Does not take pleasures in vanities. Knowing which the seeker becomes filled with spiritual essence, becomes calm and finds pleasure only in true self. This is the highest form of love. Because there is no desire for reciprocity, this is unconditional love. What means no desire for reciprocity? I love you. Do you love me? Trade. Trade. Usually we see that in human understanding. The partners have to remind each other, hey, do you love me? Present each other with some physical objects. Try to find something that you can fall in love with. Because once that happens, once you fall in love with something greater than your ego, that love will settle you. Let it be your search. This search is beautiful search. You will fall, you will get bruised, you will get injured, but by trying, you will flower your heart. This is Bhakti. And I can only say so much, because trying to give a talk on Bhakti is like trying to explain love. Is it possible to explain love? I can explain love, but the falling in love part, the experiencing of love is something completely different. Isn't it? So then, what is Bhakti finally? I have simplified it. I have simplified it because Bhakti is really, really simple. Bhakti is a path of generating unshakable faith. And I told you, those of you who are on the path of yoga already are almost a bhakta. Because you trust yoga, you have faith in yoga. Just let it happen. Never doubt the process of yoga. Please. And that's why if you trust the process of yoga, for you, the sadhana is your prayer. Your everyday practice is your prayer. If you are a yogi, your practice is your prayer. This is what makes you a devotee. Bhakti is a path of invoking universal consciousness within. Like I said, we will sing right now. And while singing, I want you to drop the mind. Try to drop the mind. Oh, I'm not singing well. Oh, look at her. Oh, not. Go mad. Go crazy. It's the last session. And I'm leaving Israel day after tomorrow. So, there's a beautiful aspect of shamelessness. Have you ever been shameless in a good way? Like, not from an offensive way, but like not caring for what people think, not really bothering about other people's opinion. That will happen when you come into your heart through bhakti. That's why bhakti is path of invoking universal consciousness within. Third, bhakti is path of expressing the highest love. You know what? In asanas, we do a lot of backbends to open the heart. But there is another aspect of opening the heart too, and that is bhakti. You will do backbends and you will break your ribs, but you will not open your heart if you don't fall in love with the divine. And I am very serious about it. I joke a lot when I talk, but you will go into complete chakrasana or whatever school that your talks about. You will break your ribcage to open your heart. But unless the bhakti comes in your heart, the devotion comes in your heart, all that backbends is useless. That's why we have people practicing backbends for 20, 30 years, still jealous of the next person. And you wonder, everything is open. Now shoulder blades can't even go beyond this. Still I'm jealous. This is not heart opening, this is rib opening. So please understand, the backbend practice in asana, which you call figuratively as heart opening, should also work together with surrender, with faith, with falling in love with the divine principle. And that divine principle could be anything from your pantheon, from your faith. Doesn't matter, it's the same divine. That's why we have devotees in every spiritual tradition. Look at the Sufis. They are the bhaktas of yoga. They are devotees. And the last part, bhakti is path of seeing the same divine oneness in all. Because when I realize the divine within me, I'm not going to say, yay, I did it, you are a loser. No. When you realize that there is divine within you, you see the same divine within everybody. This is called equal vision. It will never happen. It will never happen that you realize the divine within, you realize the love within, and you see others as somebody low. This is religion. A real spirituality is when you realize the love within your heart, you have love and compassion for everybody. The animals, the trees, your neighbor, even your partner. Bhakti is simple. So if you want to write down something or take a picture of something, take a picture of this and reflect on this. This is bhakti. It is universal, it is open, and it is for everybody. Any questions? I'll take 2 questions and get ready to sing. Clear your throats, whatever. Yes.
Well, I have many questions, but
Yes.
only one. When we speak about doubt in the path of yoga, so I think what myself experienced there, doubt pushes you or takes you to search
Correct.
for answers.
Absolutely. Sure.
So you said that doubt is, well, of course, doubt is not faith, but it brings you towards.
Has your doubt made you look for search? Very good. That's a good doubt. Because there are many whose doubt will make them depressed and close down. You have a Rajasic doubt. Some people have a Tamasic doubt. And there is no Sattvic doubt. It's better to have a Rajasic doubt than a Tamasic doubt. If your doubt is Sattvic, great. At least you are not tamas. So let that doubt drive you to look for answers. And you will find it's the way. Remember this. Remember what I'm saying right now. In spirituality, the only way out is through. You have to go through self-doubt. You have to go through failures. You have to go through confusion. That's the dark tunnel. But there is light at the end of the tunnel for sure. Don't give up. Don't get dejected. The lessons, the hardships, the sufferings that are coming to you because there is a lesson. If there was no lesson, they would not come to you. That's why your issues and your neighbor's issues are different. The neighbor has to learn something different. You have to learn something different. You learn what you have to learn. Let's all grow together. Now we start something called as Kirtan. Have you heard Kirtan? Kirtan, the word, it is Kirtan, okay? The key is, the key is longer, okay? Kirtan means, literally, Kirti means growth. And Kirtan means a gathering of people where everybody grows together. And that's the beauty of Bhakta. A jnani, a philosopher, will be alone. A bhakta will never be alone. Bhakta is okay to be alone, but bhakta will be in the packs with his squad. In Bhagavad Gita and many scriptures it is written, bhaktas come together and lift each other, and that's why we are here, to lift each other. So, my definition of Kirtan is coming together in spirit of loving devotion, where nobody is less and nobody is more, where nobody is teacher, nobody is a student, where everybody is divine in essence, where all the boundaries melt away. That is Kirtan. Where we go crazy in singing, in dancing, and we just surrender to that unspoken divine that lies within us. So beautiful, isn't it? The company of like-minded people who are not jealous of you, who don't want to pull you down, who genuinely love when you're growing, and they grow with you. And I told you yesterday, we need more and more sanghas like this. So if you are a yoga teacher, create a good amount of student network, a teacher network around you, and grow together. Ready for Kirtan? So, we start everything in yoga with Ganesha. Why? Because Ganesha is an obstacle remover. So much, like in India, if you are driving with a family for vacation, we will first do Ganesha puja. Yeah, because Ganesha also comes with you for vacation. Why not? Idea of divinity is very different. So, pronunciation and all doesn't matter. That's why these are not mantras. Only one mantra we will sing today, but these are all bhajans. In bhajan, pronunciation doesn't matter. Okay? There's a big difference. Bhajan and mantra. Ganesha Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. Okay? Wait. We go step by step. And if you feel shame, if you feel embarrassed, just sense it. And allow that embarrassment, the shame to melt away. If you feel shy, close your eyes. One of my favorite gods, Ganesha. Why? Because I've passed almost all my mathematics exams in school thanks to this guy. All. So, he saved me from flunking many grades. So, thank you, Ganesha.
It's a he or it's a she?
It's a he.
Completely.
Ganesha Sharanam.
Ganesha Sharanam.
Sharanam Ganesha.
Sharanam Ganesha.
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 Sharanam means surrender. Ganesha, I surrender to you. Now, help me with my math exams. I have no confidence in me. Only you can help me. It has helped me, really. Personal experience. Sharanam means surrender. So if you are singing from here, bring it here. If you are singing like this, Ganesha Sharanam, close your eyes. Be the ostrich that puts his head in the ground. Ganesha Sharanam.
Ganesha Sharanam.
Sharanam Ganesha.
Sharanam Ganesha.
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 allowing the confidence to gradually come to your heart. Feeling fearless, feeling confident, feeling in your power. Okay? This is warm up. This is warming up. Again, if you are embarrassed, close your eyes. If you want to hold the neighbor and swing with the neighbor, go ahead. If you want to go back and just dance, go ahead. Softly. Do headbanging, go ahead. But out of the heart. Be authentic to whatever you do in a kirtan. It is not a performance. It is not a show of your talent. Okay? So try to find that authenticity. Whatever it is. You want to throw your arms up, Ganesha Sharanam. Go ahead. Do it. But that throwing the arms up should come authentically. Not because you want to be a little different than the others. Okay? It should come, bloom from your heart. We will sing this bhajan now. It's a beautiful melodious bhajan. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Jai Jagadish Hare,
Swami Jai Jagadish Hare.
भक्त जनों के संकट, भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट,
दास जनों के संकट,
क्षण में दूर करे,
क्षण में दूर करे।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे,
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
Beautiful. You guys are really, really good singers. Jai Jagadish Hare,
जय जगदीश हरे।
Swami Jai Jagadish Hare,
स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे।
भक्त जनों के संकट, जनों के
संकट,
दास जनों के संकट,
दास जनों के संकट,
क्षण में दूर करे,
क्षण में दूर करे।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे,
ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे,
स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे,
भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जगदीश हरे।
Once again.
जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
I love to chant in a language I don't understand. You know why? Because it empties my mind. It empties my mind. Korean song, African song, you go, you join, and your mind says, but what are you singing? Why are you singing? Doesn't matter. Tell your mind, hello, this is Bhakti seminar. This is not philosophy. Shut up. Huh? Of course, I don't mind. Something catchy. Shiva, no? Shiva has to be catchy. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om.
Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shiva Om.
Samba Sada Shiva Har Shiva Om.
Once again.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Samba Sada Shiva Har Shiva Om.
2 times.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Samba Sada Shiva Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Samba Sada Shiva Har Shiva Om.
Second line.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Hey Girijapati Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om.
Once again.
Hey Girijapati Har Shiva Om.
2 more times.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Hey Girijapati Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Hey Girijapati Har Shiva Om.
Third line.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Hey Shiva Shankara Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Hey Shiva Shankara Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Hey Shiva Shankara Har Shiva Om.
Once again.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Hey Shiva Shankara Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om.
Next line.
Jai Nataraja Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Jai Nataraja Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Jai Nataraja Har Shiva Om.
Once again.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Jaya Nataraja Har Shiva Om.
Next line.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Parama Pashupati Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Parama Pashupati Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Parama Pashupati Har Shiva Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Parama Pashupati Har Shiva Om.
Om Shiva 4 times.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om.
Continue.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om. Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om.
One last time.
Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om.
Shiva and we just sing the names of Shiva. That's it. Warmed up?
Yes.
Want to continue?
Yes.
This is the name of Krishna. And just singing the name of Krishna, boom. No matter who you are, however stone-hearted you are, your heart melts. It's a very beautiful melody. Listen to me, okay? I will sing the whole thing, then one by one we'll sing. No rush. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakheti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna addresses Krishna like this. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakhe. Okay? One by one. Let your come out of the mind. I know you're tired. Let your heart explode like the ocean next to you. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti 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 Govinda Damodara Govinda Damodara Madhaveti 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 Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Once again, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Hey Krishna,
Hey Krishna,
Hey Yadava,
Hey Yadava,
Hey Sakheti,
Hey Sakheti,
Hey Krishna,
Hey Krishna,
Hey Yadava,
Hey Yadava,
Hey Sakheti,
Hey Sakheti,
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti With the arms up.
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakyeti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakyeti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti.
One last time.
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakyeti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakyeti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti.
Both hands on your heart, close your eyes and just be in your heart. Exhale. Just be with yourself. The principle of balance that is always there in your heart. Try to feel it. Balance between practical and spiritual. Balance between outside and inside. Balance between money and life. Balance between your yoga teacher and yoga student. The balance is always with you. Slowly bring the hands down. Now we'll sing a song in Hebrew. Yes.
Incredible.
So Emilia will lead because I cannot. I don't know what's written there. Sorry.
No, but Paul is here.
So who knows this song?
I know.
Okay, so let's sing the first one in English and then you will know what we are singing. Of course you know Hebrew. But let's sing the first one in English. Sing with me. Soham.
Soham,
I am love.
I am love.
Soham.
Soham,
I am freedom.
I am freedom.
Soham.
Soham,
I am bliss.
I am bliss.
Soham.
Soham,
That's how it is.
that's how it is.
Soham.
Soham,
I am love.
I am love.
Soham.
Soham,
I am freedom.
I am freedom.
Soham.
Soham,
I am bliss.
I am bliss.
Soham.
Soham,
That's how it is.
that's how it is.
Soham.
Soham,
I am love.
I am love.
Soham.
Soham,
I am freedom.
I am freedom.
Soham.
Soham,
I am bliss.
I am bliss.
Soham.
Soham,
That's how it is.
that's how it is.
Sing it to yourself. Soham. I am love. Soham. I am freedom. Soham. I am bliss. Soham. That's how it is. Now we'll all sing it together with a hug to yourself. This is a song of the self. Soham. I am love. Soham. I am again. Soham, I am love. Soham, I am freedom. Soham, I am bliss. Soham, that's how it is. Now look at your neighbor and sing it to each other. Soham, I am love. Soham, I am freedom. Soham, I am bliss. Soham, that's how it is. Reach out, give the hand to your neighbor. Soham, I am love. Soham, I am freedom. Soham, I am bliss. Soham, that's how it is. Now we have the same version in Hebrew. Now you know. But somebody has to lead it. Because of my handicap. Sing it to yourself. Reach out to your neighbor. In a hug. One last time in English. Soham, I am love. Soham, I am freedom. Soham, I am bliss. Soham, that's how it is. One last time. Soham, I am love. Soham, I am freedom. Soham, I am bliss. Soham, that's how it is. This is the song of self. Remember this song. Keep it in your heart whenever you feel low, whenever you feel upset, whenever you feel depressed, whenever you feel alone. Sing it to yourself. Okay? Now we'll finish by singing a beautiful line from a mantra. Loka samasta
Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Once again.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you.
Sing it to your neighbor.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you.
Hand in hand.
Loka Samasta
Come together.
Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Doesn't matter if you don't know the person.
Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you.
One last time.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Love, peace and happiness to you. Love, peace and happiness to you.
Thank you. Remember, yoga is very simple. It's just our mind and our expectations make it complicated. Come out of your mind, come out of your expectation, and yoga is right there in your heart with you always. Don't complicate it, it's not worth it. All through the history of yoga, the philosophers, the argumenters, the orthodox people all have melted their hearts in devotion and bhakti. Come back to the heart. The heart of yoga is in simplicity. That is the real essence of yoga. Okay? Anything to say? Anything to share? If you have questions, remember, in devotion, in bhakti, you don't get answers, but your questions disappear. And when your questions disappear, there is no need to find answers. Okay? So thank you, everybody. I love you all, and I love to come here, and hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
So join your hands, inhale. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Please give me a hug and go. Don't just go like that. Thank you so much. If you want to add me on